The sun shone brightly over the historic square, where crowds gathered to marvel at the iconic Royal Guard standing stoically in their bright red uniforms. The atmosphere was filled with a mix of excitement and reverence as tourists snapped photos and chatted amongst themselves, eager to capture a piece of the moment. This location was not just any ordinary place. It was steeped in history, symbolizing centuries of tradition and bravery. As people watched, the sound of drums heralded the changing of the guard, adding a sense of ceremony to the day. The towering monuments surrounded the area served as reminders of the sacrifices made by those who served their country. Allied children pointed in awe at the guards, while adults shared stories of past heroes, creating an atmosphere rich with respect for veterans. In this lively scene, few anticipated that trouble would soon unfold. A commotion began to brew as a young man, full of bravado and arrogance, made his way through the crowd. His presence disrupted the peaceful gathering, setting the stage for an unexpected confrontation that would soon draw everyone's attention. Among the onlookers was a veteran named Jack, a man in his late 60s with silver hair and a proud posture. Having served his country for over 20 years, Jack had seen it all, from intense battlefields to the quiet days of peacetime service. A medal adorned his chest, signifying bravery and dedication, while the stories etched in his heart spoke of camaraderie and sacrifice. Jack had recently returned from a veterans reunion, where he felt proud to reconnect with his fellow soldiers. Now, as he stood before the Royal Guard, he felt a deep sense of respect for those who continued to uphold the values he fought for. He often reflected on the lessons learned during his service, that honor and integrity were worth defending at all costs. Despite his age, Jack's spirit remained undaunted. He enjoyed sharing tales of adventure with both young and old, eager to inspire respect for those who protect freedom. Little did he know that the day would soon take an unexpected turn, challenging not just his own courage, but also reminding everyone around him of the true essence of bravery. As Jack stood lost in thought, the young thug approached him with an aggressive swagger, his eyes glinting with mischief. Dressed in a leather jacket and jeans, he cut an intimidating figure, clearly looking for trouble. The crowd began to sense the change in the air as whispers of concern spread among them. "Hey, old man," he shouted, stepping closer and invading Jack's personal space. "What are you doing here? This isn't a place for losers like you." His words dripped with contempt, echoing through the square and silencing onlookers. Jack turned to face him, his expression calm but alert, ready to defuse the tension. The thug leaned in further, chest puffed out and fists clenched. "You think your medals mean anything? You're just a relic of a past nobody cares about." He laughed mockingly, trying to provoke Jack into reacting. While the veteran maintained composure, the crowd began to shift uneasily, sensing that this confrontation might escalate. Jack understood that standing firm was crucial, not just for himself, but for all who had served. He took a deep breath and prepared to respond to the thug's taunts with dignity and strength. The tension in the air reached its peak as the thug, fueled by bravado, suddenly swung his fist toward Jack's face. The movement swift and unexpected. Gasps echoed from the onlookers, their eyes wide with shock as they witnessed the clash unfold. Jack, however, had been trained for such confrontations long ago. With instinct kicking in, he sidestepped just in time, allowing the thug's punch to sail through the air without connecting. The crowd held its breath, caught between disbelief and anticipation. The thug stumbled forward, thrown off balance by his own momentum. In that split second, Jack seized the opportunity to respond. With a firm yet calm voice, he addressed the young man. "This isn't how we settle differences." The Royal Guard stood nearby, their attention now focused on the commotion before them. One guard stepped forward, ready to intervene if the situation escalated further. The atmosphere crackled with energy. Some cheered for Jack's quick thinking, while others murmured concern about the thug's next move. It was clear that this encounter would not just be a battle of fists, but a showdown of principles and respect. The moment the thug attempted to strike Jack, the Royal Guards sprang into action. Their training had prepared them for such incidents, and they were quick to assess the situation. One guard stepped forward with authority, his voice commanding as he shouted, "Step back. This is unacceptable behavior." His colleague joined him, forming a solid barrier between Jack and the thug. The guard's presence was immediate and intimidating, reminding everyone in the square of their role as protectors of peace. With sharp eyes and steady stances, they conveyed a message that aggression would not be tolerated. As onlookers watched in awe, the royal guards expertly maneuvered to ensure both Jack and the thug were safe. "You need to calm down," one guard said firmly to the thug while keeping his gaze steady. "We're here to maintain order." The crowd began to relax slightly, encouraged by the guard's decisive actions. With each passing second, it became clear that this confrontation would not only involve Jack's courage, but also the unwavering strength and discipline of those sworn to protect the honor of their country. The tension slowly shifted toward a sense of security, as respect for authority returned to the square. As the guard stepped in, the thug's bravado began to crumble. His eyes widened in disbelief as he took in the scene around him, realizing he had severely underestimated both Jack and the authority of the royal guards. The confident smirk that had adorned his face moments before vanished, replaced by a look of confusion and fear. The young man's fists, which had been clenched tightly just moments ago, now hung limply at his sides. The crowd's reaction only magnified his surprise. They were no longer passive spectators, but rather a unified front supporting Jack. Murmurs of encouragement filled the air as people expressed their admiration for the veteran and their disapproval of the thug's actions. Suddenly aware that he was outmatched, the thug glanced back and forth between Jack and the guards, who stood resolute and unwavering. A bead of sweat trickled down his forehead as he realized that his aggressive approach had not only failed, but had put him in a precarious position. The youthful defiance that had driven him to confront Jack was replaced by a sinking feeling of regret. He had chosen the wrong fight on this day. As the confrontation unfolded, the crowd's reaction varied dramatically. Initially, gasps of shock erupted as they witnessed the thug's aggressive attempt to punch Jack. Many onlookers clutched their phones, capturing the moment, while others instinctively stepped back, unsure of how the situation would unfold. However, as Jack sidestepped the blow and the royal guards intervened, a wave of support for the veteran surged through the crowd. People began to cheer softly, their voices growing louder in encouragement. "Stand strong," a woman shouted, her voice cutting through the tension. Others joined in, clapping and expressing their admiration for Jack's calm demeanor. The crowd transformed from passive spectators into a unified force, collectively showing their disdain for the thug's behavior. Murmurs of "how disrespectful" and "he picked the wrong fight" echoed among them, reinforcing Jack's position as a respected figure rather than a target. The atmosphere shifted from shock to empowerment as bystanders rallied around Jack. They felt a sense of pride in their shared values of respect and honor, transforming a moment of potential violence into one of community support and resilience against aggression. With the royal guards firmly in control of the situation, they quickly assessed the thug's behavior and determined that he needed to be dealt with appropriately. One guard stepped forward, his expression stern as he addressed the young man. "You've caused a disturbance and attempted to assault a veteran. That is unacceptable." The thug, still reeling from his earlier bravado, stammered as he tried to defend himself, but the guard was unyielding. "You have two choices: apologize and leave peacefully, or we can take you into custody." The crowd watched in anticipation, eager to see justice served. Realizing he was outnumbered and that the support for Jack only grew stronger, the thug reluctantly muttered an apology, though it was clear his heart wasn't in it. The guard gestured for him to leave, and as he turned to walk away, the crowd erupted in cheers and applause for Jack. Justice had been served that day, not only through the guard's intervention, but also through the collective voice of the community that stood against disrespect. The thug faded into the background as onlookers celebrated Jack's bravery and the swift action taken to protect their values. In the aftermath of the confrontation, a profound sense of bravery resonated among those present. Jack, the veteran, embodied the spirit of honor, demonstrating how courage is not merely about physical prowess, but also about standing firm in one's principles. His refusal to be intimidated showcased his inner strength, as he remained composed in the face of aggression, reminding everyone that true valor lies in restraint and dignity. Equally commendable were the royal guards, who acted swiftly and decisively to restore peace. Their presence was not just a symbol of authority. It represented a commitment to protect those who have served and uphold the values of respect within society. They stood as stalwart defenders of justice, ensuring that the day remained a celebration of courage rather than violence. The crowd's enthusiastic support for Jack reaffirmed the importance of honoring veterans and recognizing their sacrifices. This incident became a lesson in bravery for all, illustrating that standing up against disrespect, whether through words or action, reinforces the bonds of community and respect. In that historic square, both Jack and the Royal Guards inspired everyone to cherish and defend the values that unite them. As the dust settled in the historic square, the events of the day served as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up against aggression. Jack, the veteran, embodied courage and dignity, showcasing that true strength comes from resilience and respect for one another. The Royal Guards acted swiftly to maintain peace, reinforcing their role as protectors who honor and support those who have served our country. The crowd's enthusiastic response not only celebrated Jack's bravery, but also illustrated the collective commitment to defend shared values. This incident united bystanders, transforming them from a passive group into an active voice against disrespect. They reaffirmed that society must stand firm against any form of aggression, ensuring that those who serve and protect our freedoms are treated with honor and reverence. Ultimately, this confrontation revealed that bravery takes many forms, whether it's the strength to remain calm in adversity or the courage to rally around principles of respect and dignity. The day ended with a renewed sense of community and solidarity, reminding everyone present that together they could uphold the values that unite them, fiercely standing against aggression and championing freedom for all.